Recently, we released a completely unscripted video on this channel speaking out against the very idea of what happened to former President Donald Trump during his Pennsylvania rally yesterday. We still very much hold the opinion that we featured in that video, but now we hope to be a bit more measured and coherent about the topic as a whole, specifically in response to the rhetoric we saw after the fact. First and foremost, we want to repeat that this attack on the life of a former president and current presidential candidate is the height of political cowardice, and an action we find completely abhorrent. So much so that we feel it warrants the complete unpersoning of the shooter, erasing their name and picture from all of history. Damnatio memoriae. Their very existence should be cut out of our records, only ever referred to in statements like, "that monster that took a shot at the president." We shall not say his name. We shall not show his face. But we also want to face off against those who would dare to encourage this sort of behavior, who have cheered on the violent assault on the life of a presidential candidate. We have seen countless individuals celebrate this attack and make excuses for it, and, to our horror, even come up with the horrific ideas to isolate certain bases in authoritarian antics such as, and this is a direct statement from one such individual, quote, "doing what Israel has done to Gaza," unquote. You are disgusting people, and the sort of idea that you're bringing up in response to this shows that there is something inherently broken in you that reaches far past the boundaries of politics. For those who might be feeling angry at the opposite side right now, who might be readying yourselves to rail against your perceived ideological opponents, we want to make it extremely clear that what happened yesterday is not normal and should never be considered normal. Regardless of the side that they take, most people, on all sides, are much like you in every way. They are normal people who get up in the morning, shower, brush their teeth, go to work, pay their taxes, and probably watch the same shows and read the same books for the same reasons. We are, each and every one of us, human. And most people on either side would really prefer not to have this sort of disgusting behavior in their lives. We have nothing but sympathy for those who have gotten involved in this, and our heart goes out to the people who were hurt, or worse, lost their lives in this tragedy. To those that would do this sort of thing, however, to those cheering it on and unironically wishing that they could have done it, that Trump would have died there, that this is acceptable, you are a broken excuse for a person. We have no intention of giving you the benefit of the doubt. There is something deeply rotten in the depths of your being that has led you to act against the goodwill and betterment of your fellow human being, and for that, we have nothing but contempt and pity for you. We freely invite anyone who has a problem with our mindset to kiss the very darkest and most uninviting section of our taint. This sort of action goes, as said before, beyond politics. With the fact in mind that most Republicans and Democrats alike are just normal people trying to survive this colossal shitstorm we call life, we do not accept that this attack was a matter of partisan politics. You, the people that would do this, hope to do this, or even condone this, are hateful individuals that would rather destroy than build. You are merely using the politics that you can as a club to carry out your sick, disgustingly violent fantasies. You do not belong in this political system, nor any other. You belong in a mental institution, held there against your will for the safety of yourself and others. We firmly believe that every taxpayer dollar from all sides should be spent to gather you up and keep you from carrying out your harmful fantasies on anyone, let alone the innocent people you seem to have no care for when they suffer at the hands of your sick ambitions, as someone indeed did during the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. To those who are very rightfully scared and distrustful of your neighbors presently, we understand. You might not feel you're able to even trust your own friends and family in this increasingly polarized time, wherein political reasons are given for violent and entirely unpolitical ends. Very reasonably, any of you might feel the need to isolate yourselves from others and build a wall around yourself, both physically and metaphorically, to keep your perceived enemies from attacking you, from attacking your friends and family. It might seem like everyone around you is just a sleeping Agent Smith, waiting to change and come after you for something they think you might have done, or that you might do in the future. The urge to self-isolate in this sort of situation is completely reasonable. Believe us when we tell you that we understand. We really do. Not only that we understand, but that we know the sentiment intimately. Perhaps not for the same reasons, and certainly not for the same things, but we do understand. You are not alone. We know better than many how it is to watch yourself lose it, to see yourself becoming an antisocial recluse with no trust or belief in your fellow human being. That, we are well aware, is what political violence does. That, we assure you, is the point of this heinous act. Moreover, we could not in good conscience hold such a feeling against you. It's hard to trust nowadays. You want to be the lone warrior, the only person you can trust. We know how it feels. But now, more than ever, is the time that we must not hide ourselves away. Now more than ever, we need to stand strong, and we need to stand together. We believe that what happened at the Trump rally in Pennsylvania, what is happening all around us throughout the whole of the political spectrum, is indicative of a sort of polarization-based cancer in our society. It's been growing in our culture for many presidential terms at this point. Maybe it's been there the entire time. We don't know. Our understanding of history may be good, but it isn't that good. But we do have reason to believe, or at least think we have reason to believe, that the answer to this societal cancer, the response to it, is to bring what people we can together to defend against it. If you draw up a wall around yourself and cut everything off out of fear of being hurt, betrayed, or even attacked, you will be weak, vulnerable, and open to the very attack you're trying to protect against. It is, as we said before, entirely understandable that you are scared and angry, and we could not in good conscience try to tell you to feel some other way. But we can try to let you know that you aren't crazy to feel how you do. You're not alone. And that's a good thing, because we can't bring this country together alone. Not you, not us. None of us can do this by ourselves. Which is why we're calling not for war, not for hatred and conflict, but for sympathy and unity. This wasn't an attack on one person, one party, or one policy. It was an attack against us all, an attack to bring out the worst in us. It was an act by a disgusting excuse for a human being who was too stupid to solve what they saw as a problem without violence. If we turn on each other via angry mobs and vigilante justice, we will be doing exactly what that horrible piece of shit wanted from us. We will become the same sort of monster that they were. Not here, we say! Not in our fair republic! Let us do the opposite. Let us unite against this cancer in our society and together bring it to its knees before excising it completely. To our friends on the left, silence your finger-waving and smug prevaricating. That is not going to help. Indeed, it will just cause more conflict than ever before. The shooter didn't care about you, nor about helping you or this nation. Regardless of what you might think of former President Donald Trump, this sort of attack only tries to set the precedent that political assassination is a legitimate tool against one's opponents. That is not a precedent we welcome in our nation. And if you are too far left to understand how very deeply this hurts your cause, how very hard this will encourage hatred and violence from your opposition, then you are part of the problem. To our friends on the right, this is an extremely scary day, and nobody should blame you for what you're feeling, for what you feel right now. But this was not some clandestine agent working in the shadows to destroy your party, your president, or your nation. This was one man with the full intention to make things worse between you and those that you already disagree with. He does not and never will speak for us or anyone in our party, nor does he speak for anyone on the left or on the right, neither Democrat nor Republican. He was a single, disgusting zealot seeking to make the entire situation worse by ending the lives of others. Please resist the temptation to place blame on those who you already don't like, for this sort of attack would only make the left a pariah, and anyone with a head on their shoulders in the left already knows that. Instead, to those who have the presence of mind to understand what we're saying, please come together with your former ideological opponents in agreement that this is not okay. That this is something we should all stand against. There are some disturbing trends on Twitter right now, but rest assured, that is not the majority. The majority of both parties want nothing more than to embrace peace and cooperation in this terrible time. Already, the Democratic and Republican officials of the United States of America have come together to collectively denounce this horrible act of violence, and you should as well. Already, the tides are turning towards goodwill and peace among former political adversaries. Do not let this tragedy become something that tears us apart. Let it be something that brings us together. Let it be something that nobody else will ever try to do, for this adversity shall only make us stronger. We aren't going to tear each other apart in the streets. We aren't going to start this civil war that the shooter and their ilk so very clearly wanted. We're going to live on. We're going to survive this together. We're going to link arms and hold hands in cooperation to sweep clean the mess that's been made and go back to our lives in defiance of this cowardice. We are going to denounce extremism on all sides. We are going to reject this call to conflict by those who would have us kill each other in the streets. We shall defy expectations set upon us by other nations and rise above. Now stand up! Take hold of your community and call for unity and mutual safety for all people, not just those you want to see in office. This is America! We are Americans, and we will not tolerate this sort of discord. We shall stand against it. We shall stand strong, and we shall stand together for America!